to the questions.
Perfect.
Because I have a lot of questions
I'm
because
here
I
for it.
reread the book. I reread it,
I love that.
and yeah, I have a lot of questions.
I love
All right,
that. I'm here for it. Let's do
all
it.
right, all right. So tonight's guest is the kind of storyteller who reminds you that imagination is a muscle that gets stronger the longer you honor it. Kadeem Locke. That's how you pronounce it, Locke.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Kadeem Locke is a Jamaican American author born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, a lifelong reader, writer, anime lover, and world builder who started writing stories as early as second grade and never stopped. Even when those early drafts didn't quite land, instead of quitting, he sharpened the craft. He studied it. He loved he lived inside of it. That dedication led him to earn his bachelor's degree in English with a minor in creative writing from the University of North Florida. And now he's stepping boldly into the fantasy space with his debut novel, Demonology The Bond, a story that blends demons, destiny, survival, creativity, and the inner emotional lives of Black characters in ways we rarely see centered in mainstream fantasy. What makes Kadeem's work especially important is that he doesn't strip blackness away from fantasy. He carries it into the genre fully intact. Culture, intuition, emotional nuance, and character agency live at the center of his storytelling. So tonight we're talking craft, culture, mythology, representation, purpose, and the future of black fantasy.
Love it. Love it.
You are welcome. All
First.
right, so let's
Gee.
let's get started. You started writing as early as second grade and
Yeah.
followed that passion all the way through earning your degree in English and creative writing. But when did your imagination specifically begin to lean towards like fantasy, and what moment made you realize this is my genre, this is my playground that I want to be
Great question, honestly, to start off. And to be honest, I'm weird. Like I've been the same my whole life, but of course I've just grown with it, right?
in?
So even in that, when I second grade, third grade, I was a big anime lover. I was already watching anime. I was already watching like Ronin Kenshin, Dragon Ball Z, all the Yu Yu Hakusho, and all those things.
Yeah.
And when you really think about it, in a sense, anime is just fantasy, right?
Hmm.
So I've been a fantasy lover since, young. And then, of
Hmm.
course, Harry Potter comes out. And then after that, Aragon has this run. Then you got
Hmm.
the, Maze Runner and those, and Divergent, that era came out as well. But that whole time, I've always just been, fantasy, because
Hmm.
to me, fantasy and, honestly, I love mystery too. But when it comes to
Hmm.
fantasy and mystery, when I'm reading, I want to escape to something. And
Hmm.
even though I do want to, learn, I want to have those pieces, but I feel like fantasy novels still give us that.
Hmm.
And I want to also be someone who like put a forefront of like, hey, no, fantasy writing can be, multifaceted. It can have more than just action. It can build
Hmm.
depth in characters. It can give you all these pieces. But I've just been into fantasy my whole life. So I was always, had a fantasy book on me, reading that not genre, reading the novels and kind of just seeing what happens. And then I also read manga a lot when I was younger as well.
Yeah. So anime, video games, books, those are powerful storytelling mediums.
Yep.
So how did those influences shape the way you structure tension and pacing and character arcs or even the world building?
Man, I love these questions. Okay, so I mean, you gonna get a long-winded answer here for this one, because man, this is so cool. So I come from that. I don't know if you know Naruto,
Yes.
Kishimoto. Yes, so Kishimoto. I come from that tree of writing. So like
Mm.
he, in a sense, like granted, Jim Butcher as well. He's the Dresden Files and those, that kind of writing. So he kind
Mm-hmm.
of taught me how to like write there, right? But
Mm-hmm.
Kishimoto, when it comes to character development and pacing, like I
Mm-hmm.
love a good yearn, and I love like when it takes time to develop, right? And when you watch Naruto, it's like, all right, you got your time. You're gonna have hundreds of episodes to pull this, like,
Yeah.
to keep this going. And as a writer, I feel like it's our job to be able to manage that and to be able to keep people engaged the whole
Mm-hmm.
time through, right? So,
Yeah.
like this novel, like Demonology, it's a 10-part series, right?
I was gonna
So,
ask you. I was
uh,
gonna ask you. I
yeah,
promise you. That is one of my questions. I
yeah.
promise you it is.
This is gonna be a 10-part series. So I was like, I got so much room
Mm,
for these characters to grow, and I want to make sure that it feels real and
mm,
you guys as readers are really going to be able to digest and understand what's going on
mm.
because Nexus isn't going to develop in a book. Electra's not going to develop in a book. Same thing with Guile. These characters, just like people, we take time to develop and things happen over years and time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure that that's my kind of pacing. Like I
Yeah.
like that kind of pacing. And granted, I'm not saying anything is wrong about any kind of pacing because I read a mystery book, just one and done. I love it. But for
Mm-hmm.
me personally, I love that yearn and that time that it takes for a really
Mm-hmm.
good story. Because to make a really good story, you got a beginning, a middle, and you're gonna have a good ending, right? And if
Yeah.
you can really capture that
Yeah.
for a longer series, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, just the benefit and the at the end the reward that you and your readers get from that, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's just something next level.
Mm. So Black mythology across the diaspora,
Mhm.
African, Caribbean, Afro Latino, Southern folklore, hoodoo, Orishas, uh, so much ancestral cosmetology, you
Yeah.
know, uh, rarely gets mainstream visibility
Okay.
um, in fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Why do you think that these mythologies are all so underrated in publishing?
I think it comes with a couple of things. I mean, every every like field and every workforce and every wherever, it's all like a microcosm of like the
Mm,
greater what the world is and what we see, right? So if we think about right here, just this country, we think about
mm,
it, it's going to be a microcosm now when we're talking about the literary world inside of this, right?
mm,
So that same vision isn't going to be there because you got the numbers, you got the majority, you got the minority, you got who's reading, who's doing this, and
mm,
at a certain point, it's like our job, and it's also the job of the culture and the community to put our people on our backs, right? And to
mm,
make it a point. Because to be honest, my upbringing, when you think about it, like I came on anime, video games, all these things, there wasn't really representation
no.
for for us for BIPOC in general. So like my whole time writing when I was younger, my characters weren't even representations of me. It was
Mm,
representation of things I was seeing because I didn't even realize that I didn't have representation. And it really wasn't
mm,
until Demonology came that I got to the end of it. I was like, man, it's like, damn, I created a book with all black cast and a fantasy novel like that. And I
mm,
realized, like, man, that's something different, and that's something that's needed out here because it's
mm,
just like playing a video game. I don't remember which one I was playing. If it was, I think it was Dragon's Dogma 2, right? And I was
mm,
playing it, and it was the first time ever that I remember hitting my homie up. I was like, I made a black character, and
mm,
it had good hair for the first time ever. Because
mm,
in video games, they never had good hair, you never had good texture, you never had those things, and now we're getting to a point where because of representation we
mm,
are finally getting these things. And me being a part of this
mm.
um movement is like, hey, we just need more black writers, we need more black artists, more people to tell our stories so that
Yeah,
way these things can be out. And then of course on the other end we do need people to accept it and everything. But I mean, even just writing in general, it's just a hard game period
yeah,
because you know it's like music, no one wants to even give you a music deal or nothing until you have your first hit. No
yeah,
one wants to even
yeah,
look at you for writing. They're not going to be like, "Oh, you have potential. Let me talk to you." They're going to be like, "Where's the novel at?" You know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's hard, and it's a difficult space period to
yeah.
be in. So you kind of just want to like,
I feel that.
yeah, it's just a difficult space, really.
Do you think the industry still subconsciously associates fantasy with whiteness? And how does that impact Black authors trying to write expansive, imaginative worlds without being boxed into that urban narrative only?
Yes. No, so yes, I do think that that is still a piece of it. And I do think also when you get to that certain level, they do push you to more like urban, and that you do want to be pushed
Mm,
towards, hey, let's. I mean, just naturally, that's like how things go. It's like, oh, you're gonna do this. This is tell your story, and then people assume that your story is something that it might not even be, right?
yeah.
But when you think about fantasy as a whole, and you think about genres, I will say there's that, but there's also all art is an opportunistic game in a sense, right?
Mm,
And like for me, I have been writing fantasy my whole life. That's all I know, and that's all I write, and that's what
mm,
I do, right? So like me being me, I'm just like true to who I am. I'm
mm,
not gonna skip and go write something else, or I'm not gonna go over here and try to write something like that. I'm not, because that's just not me, right? But even if you're, you're in college, you're in whatever, they're gonna try to get you to write what they want you to write, because people want to bring stuff out of you, or they think that that's gonna be the best work that they can get, or you might even be like, well, shoot, what's popping right now? Like romanticy is
yeah.
like, hey, I might go write a romanticy book. Like,
Yeah.
no, like just as people are made to do certain tasks and jobs, I feel like when it comes to like now that you know you're a writer,
Mm,
know your genre. And and it's
yeah.
gonna be hard. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, but like figure out who you are, and once you know who you are, lean into that, because that's all you can do. And if you don't have if your writing doesn't speak true, then it's gonna fall flat. Like it has to have
Mm,
that trueness. It has to have that realism. Like that's why when I wrote Demonology, when I really like, yeah, it's a black cat. You know why? Because that's what I know, and these are my
yeah.
people. That's who I am, and like the book, the people, they're all a piece of you. So like, you gotta write what you know, and if you're not, then you basically just writing a caricature or something else that you think you know.
Sure.
And if you're doing that, like, eventually somebody gonna see through some piece of it, because they're gonna be like, this doesn't line up.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel real.
So as Black readers, we grow up with, sometimes some of us, not all, with the rich oral storytellings and
Yeah.
tradition, stories passed down, spiritual beliefs,
Mhm.
warnings,
Yep.
instincts. How important do you think reclaiming those traditions through speculative fiction is for our cultural preservation?
Preservation. Honestly, I think, especially in the times now, any kind of writing is important, and we need to note and journal and put it down on paper, everything
Mm-hmm.
that we have, because we're losing pieces of ourselves every day. And I just we need stuff, like we need novels here, we need the Toni Morrisons, we need these books that are going to still be here and going to live,
Hmm.
like Albert Baldwin. We need to be able to read those books of poetry. We need to have
Yeah.
these voices be spoken to. Like my best friend Natasha, she's works for a poetry firm,
Hmm.
and they're putting out unique voices daily. I mean, throughout the year, and like those voices are needed, because writing is the one natural thing to people, like art, right? You're going through something, something's going on, what are you going to do? You're going to express yourself. Write music, paint, whatever is going on, and we need to log those things, because if we don't, they're gonna go away. And
Yeah.
you never know when it's 1984 and they're just gonna, erase all the stuff that you done did. And next thing you
Yeah.
know, you're looking back, you're like, wait, Demonology was written by who? And he's like, wait, it was. I thought those characters were black. It's like now they're white. Like they could
Yeah.
change anything. Unless what is it? The real is what the believer believes it is. So
Yeah.
we need to continue to put our voices out there. BIPOC authors. Everybody needs to continue to tell their stories, because these are only the stories that we can tell. And if we keep on faking, or we keep on not putting them out because we chasing something else, or granted, sometimes it's just hard. You just can't, because you're trying to just
Yeah.
survive and live, and you ain't, and
Yeah.
you got to do this for free for the most
Yeah.
part. But then that also comes into being like a true, I guess, an artist, where it's like,
Yeah.
9 to 5 during the day, I'm working as a proposal writer, doing what I got to do. But hey, every day, every night, whenever I can, your boy's
Yeah.
gonna be, getting into this stuff and writing these novels.
Yeah. I think we are living through Orwell's 1984
Oh,
and
for sure.
Animal Farm. 100%. So, do you feel? Yeah.
Hey, hey, I'm gonna have to read this again soon. I'm like, man, this
Because we
thing.
are we are literally living through 1984 and Animal Farm
I'm
combined.
saying.
So, Do you feel pressure when writing fantasy as a Black author to either educate the audience or soften cultural elements for wider consumption? And if so, how do you, if so or if not, how do you resist the pressure of that?
The answer to that is no, but the reason for that is I'm just a stubborn asshole, to be honest. Like I'm just me. Like I'm me to death, and like everybody who knows me is Kadeem, and he's not gonna change, right? And
Yeah.
I'm hard headed as hell, whether good or bad sometimes. But I write what I write, right?
Hmm.
So when I go to them, I've been denied so many times with my novels, and it's like, hey, there's nothing, we don't got nothing, or you got something here, but I'm gonna write what I write because
Yeah.
I am, right. So at the end of the day, when the novel came out and I pushed in this thing, it's like I can't bend from who I am because then I know I'm gonna be a hypocrite, and then I'm gonna be a hypocrite to myself. And it's like the only thing that you have is like your word. And I
Yeah.
know, like, Demonology, a 10-part series. I
Hmm.
went in there with it being a 10-part series, and I went in
Hmm.
there with like these are the voices, these are the people. You're not gonna
Hmm.
tell me to change my characters because if you
Yeah.
do, or if you tell me, hey, let's do this, then I'm a creator. I'm just gonna create somewhere else, and to be honest, I came off of I don't know if you listen to Joe Budden podcast and stuff like that, but like
Sometimes.
I used to listen to it back in the day, like 10 years ago, like when it first started. And granted, whatever anything thinks, but like the artistry of like, hey, be yourself, be your artist, and
Mm-hmm.
keep on pushing. Like take everything else, but like because now it's like entertainment. It's not like, but back in the day, it used to be for the creators. It was like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is how you build something. And honestly, you just take that model. I'm like, look, create your own, create your own, create your own. Like book two's done already. Book
Oh,
three
really?
is yeah, book three's done too. I just finished book three, and I'm working on my high fantasy right now. So now it's just a matter of
High
getting the
fantasy. Oh
yeah.
my
Oh, I got some stuff.
God.
Hey, I got some stuff for you. I'm
Wait,
telling you.
high fantasy like Lord of the Rings, Game of
Yeah,
Thrones?
yeah. No, this yeah, like high fantasy like that. Yeah, this is a
Oh,
contemporary one. I'm I got some stuff. But I'm
oh
saying,
God.
so it's like I have something for everybody because I'm just gonna keep on creating. So it's
Yeah,
like if you don't like what I got, then I'm sorry, I'll just get there. But then maybe you like something else because like I want to
yeah.
do one day like rom coms. I got so much stuff I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are a creator and you really just stick to your guns and you know what you do, then it's like at least I could be happy knowing that hey, that's what I created and I put that out there and that's what I wanted to do. So
Yeah.
I can't do the whole chasing something else. So if somebody try to change it, then it's like I'm gonna go somewhere else or I'm gonna figure something else out.
Mm. So, what responsibility, if any, do you believe Black fantasy authors carry when it comes to representation, myth making, and reshaping what readers believe is possible to us in fiction?
And that's where I want to be. Like that right there. That's where I feel like more so than I mean the writing is important. I love what is in here and everything here, but like for me, it's the knowledge of like, yo, I can actually do this, and that is actually a possibility, right? Because when I was younger, coming up, growing up in Jacksonville and everything, if when I was like, yeah, I want to be a writer, I want to be an author. That's not something that is thought of as far
Yeah.
as like an option. Like black kid comes over here, you're gonna be like an author. That's not the
I just want
normal.
to pause it. If it goes out, I'm
Yeah.
gonna come right back.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You good. Um. So when that happens, it's one of those situation where now I feel like for me it's hey show the other kids that this is possible. Show the kids that you can still be out there. Show the kids hey you can still be fly. You can still do this stuff. You can still be out here living
Yeah.
you being yourself. Look me I got the nose rings. I'm doing me.
Yeah.
I'm tatted up. And it's like hey there's still a way to go about it, but you can still be
Mm.
yourself doing it. And I love that because like seeing the process and now going through it and hit my bump my head on the road because like there are things that are harder for us. There are things that
Yeah.
come across, but like at the same time, we got to start being like when we get more people in this space, then it's like more people say, oh, there's that. Oh, there's more that they can see. Like, oh, there is a Kadeem Locke. There is this person here. There is a what is it? Octavia Butler back in the day, where fantasy is like there are these people that I see is like, oh, I could be like that. I could write like that. Then they see you in person, they're like, oh, you just like me. Oh,
Mm.
you represent me. And then
Yeah.
that's where we start. Yo, you get to a certain place, and now you like, Tyler Perry. Now you these people. You start to put people, and
Yeah.
now other black people are in your space, and now other black people are growing, and that's where I really believe because I'm all about the you help each other get to a certain point because like
Yeah.
I would never be here without my best friend Natasha and like her like helping me get social media managers like doing these things because you need a team, and then when you get that team now you give it back to the community because like
Mm.
without you I'm not here, right? I need somebody who's
Yeah.
gonna read, and then you read again. And I'm like, man,
Yeah.
that touches me. So I'm like, I'm so like excited knowing that. And then now you're like, oh wait, now you're gonna want book two, right? So now I'm like, I gotta
Yes.
get book two out. Then you're gonna want book three, and like it's that relationship between the writer, the reader, the supporters, and everybody. So my job is really to write my ass off,
Mhm.
write well, and be a good person to other people, so we can build this community and
Yeah.
really just keep this thing going for real.
Yeah. So being raised with a Jamaican culture,
Yeah.
whether through family, environment, values, storytelling traditions,
Mhm.
or even just like the spiritual perspective,
Yeah.
how did that influence the way you imagine the world and its characters and even subtle, like it was just subtle for you, but how did that influence you?
Man, it really I think what I would say is it it showed me how much I loved the craft early.
Mm,
And I'm gonna say that in the sense of, coming from a Jamaican household,
yeah.
you gotta be a doctor, engineer, a lawyer, and you gotta go do them things and do it right. Because if you can't do them things, then we're not gonna be happy, right? And that isn't bad because they're doing the best they can for you, and they're like, these are the routes that you can make it in life, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna choose those routes because I'm a kid and I need to learn. So I'm gonna do those things.
Mm,
But when I keep on writing every day, no matter what, because I can't
mm,
stop writing, that showed me eventually when I got to a certain age, I was like, I have to just keep on writing.
yeah.
So I would say that shaped my hustle, that shaped my grind, that shaped the way yes, the way I see the world, but also the way I learned my own craft and I learned my dedication to the craft of writing because it showed me
Mm,
real hard. It's like, hey, you're gonna have to figure out a way to survive and make your family happy and do the things that they need you to do
yeah.
to make sure that they good. I'm granted, neither here nor there. People say you don't have to do that or not. But for me, I had to do that to make sure that I'm good with my family, everything's good. But at the same time, I was like, I gotta make myself happy, and I'm gonna be a
Mm,
writer. So I was like, the only way I gotta do this, I gotta figure it out. So I'm like, get the 9 to 5, do this over here, and then
yeah.
keep on writing on the side here. So when you see the characters, when you like look at like Aleka, when you look at her hustle. Oh man, Aleka, I love Aleka. That's one of my favorite characters, man. Because her hustle,
Yeah.
her comedy, she's just laughing through the pain, but at the same time, she's getting it and she's figuring
Yeah.
it out. You know?
I Okay, so let's dive into the book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go.
So Lloyd slash Nexus
Yeah, yeah,
um begins as someone living a quiet, routine life until
yep,
everything changes.
yeah.
What drew you to telling a story about an ordinary black man thrown into an extraordinary circumstance, especially dealing with supernatural things?
Honestly, man, it's just that fantasy, that
Mm.
anime, that RPG like lifestyle. Because like when
Yeah.
you look at these games, you look at the anime, it's always you got to go to fantastical. And whenever I'm looking at it, I made Aleka first. She was like the first character I made, and I was like, man, me personally, being first person, I didn't want to write from a woman's perspective, first person. So I was like, okay, I'm going to need a character for Aleka. And I was like, okay,
Hmm.
cool. What am I thinking? And then I I made Nexus eventually. I was like, well, Lloyd, at the beginning, I was like, man, I was like, but something's missing. I was like, because I can't have them together all the time because that's not the relationship. That's
Mm.
not the piece. I was like, something's going to happen. Then I started thinking about things. And then eventually I made like Era came through and I was like, wait a minute. It's like, okay, now is the time where I can start to piece everything. And I was like, okay, well, let's do the demon thing. I was like, okay, but I've seen it done in different ways. I've seen it done before. I was like, I need to stay away from that because, like me, I mean, you read a lot, you consume a lot of content, and I want to make sure that my content's always original. Never
Mm-hmm.
like I'm super, super, super big on originality. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, look, I'm gonna do this the way I do it. And when I started thinking about it, I had the familiars. I was like, oh man, this is really cool. And I started adding the
Look,
characters.
cause Nick's
Oh, Nick, hey, that's my homie. I love Nick.
Nick's my God. So let's talk about him.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Let's go.
Nick's arriving as the Black Cat with immense power
Yeah,
and cocky than a motherfucker, which he had every right to be.
yeah.
Also feels symbolic, kind of.
Yep.
Was that choice intentional? Was this what does Nyx represents emotionally, spiritually, or metaphorically within the story?
I love this. I love this. So Nyx is the catalyst for the story. Because if you really think about it, like if you really let's break this down here a little bit, right?
Okay.
So like when I say the character development, I come from that Kishimoto tree.
Mm-hmm.
Nexus, or let's say, yeah, Nexus is an introverted person. He's not really going to, go out of that way. And he just gets out of that bad relationship at the beginning. Oh, I think it's cut. Let's see. Oh no. Let's get in the chats now, see what's going on. Yo. Yeah,
Said
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
So my question was Nyx arriving as the Black Cat with immense power feels symbolic.
Mhm.
Was that choice intentional? Was that what does Nyx represent emotionally, spiritually, or metaphorically within the story?
Okay. Yeah, so Nyx is really the catalyst for the story. He's the one who drives the story initially because
Mm-hmm.
characters are really whatever you like impress on them. Words to Wordsworth. Like everything that like is impressed on them, right? So you have
Mm-hmm.
Nexus who's here, and at the beginning, we set it up. He had a bad relationship that didn't go well. He's an
Yeah.
introverted person. He's technically an orphan. He doesn't know his parents, and he was at boarding school his whole life. So when you look at those things, Nexus really won't go out of that lane because that's who he is as a person, right? So he's gonna go to the bar, work at the gym, he's gonna go home, he's gonna figure those things out. There's nothing like so even though he wants to do more, nothing's
Yeah.
gonna make him do more because that's his natural inkling, right? But
Yeah.
then Aleka first is the first thing that kind of like, hey, maybe you need to do something more, hey, what about this? So then he does that, right? But Nyx is the first time that he's now forced to be with somebody,
Hmm.
emotionally open up to somebody, be forced to have it out. Like no matter what, you're bonded with this person,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
you're like in a room. So it's like for the first time, he has to be like, "Damn, I gotta talk to you. Damn, like when I say something, you are there. Damn, like these things are there." And it's like Nexus now has a catalyst to drive him to do more than he initially was. So it's a good juxtaposition for him because Nyx is in a sense a version of him, right? Because he's
Yeah.
like
He is a
he's very
reflection of
similar to him.
him.
Yeah, he's a reflection
Yeah.
of, right? So he's like he did the same thing. He's gone through the same stuff, but like he's just from the other world. So now it's like
Mm.
your world here because you have bills, you have stuff to pay for. So now this is your version of it, but now you have the other world version of it with with Nyx, and now you put those
Mm.
things together, and it's almost like an episode of the real world, right? So now you get them in the house. You're like, what happens?
Because it was a scene like when he first like went into the fighting aspect of it, and he told Nyx like, "Go kill him,"
Yeah,
and Nyx was like, "Hold up, you say that shit to me again, it's gonna be a fucking problem,"
yeah,
you know. And I was just like looking at the dynamic of how they both were loners
yeah.
and how they both equally was in denial of the situation
Yep.
in their own way. So let me ask you this.
Hmm.
So um there was a point where the dual pressure
Okay.
um Nexus faces surviving supernatural
Yeah.
demons in the other world, while trying to seize a career changing because he was a writer. He
Yeah,
wanted
yeah, yeah.
something. And it mirrors real life for many creatives.
Hmm.
Was that a parallel that you intentionally wrote?
Yeah.
Why?
I to me, I very much like, just like you said with like the yearn, I
Mhm.
like the juxtaposition with like the slice of life and then
Mm,
the supernatural crazy. So it's like throughout this 10-part series, it's always going to be real life and
mm,
then otherworld, right? And I think what we talked before, where I'm like, I really believe that in fantasy writing, there's real
mm,
life, aspects of it.
mm,
There's real emotion and there's real things you can learn from it. Because like people can
mm,
relate to Nexus, people can relate to like people can relate to God, like these characters. You can get things out of it, like real things. And at the same time, the tension when you always have the other world is like, it can go
mm,
anywhere. Because now what happens? It's like, okay, I'm working at this job, but like the better his career gets and the more the other world gets, no matter what, it always creates a unbalance of things because it's like,
yeah,
hey,
it's a lot of friction.
yeah, it's like I got this chance over here to do this. It's like, oh yeah, but by the way, this
Yeah,
demon's been watching you for whatever reason is about
yeah.
to, like, so what do you do? And then even when you add relationships back in it, how do you get through
Mm,
that? Do you tell people? Can you tell people? You can't do these things. So now are you lying to people? How are you going about these things? Like there's so many aspects of the world where you think about the things that happen to Nexus or the things that happen to people, and it's like now if this other thing is impressed on, like what do they do? And then how
mm,
do they respond? And now you only have like a core group that can really understand you, but is that supposed to be your group? Because you as a person might be like, oh, this is my friend over here, but guess what? You can't relate to them the same way as you can relate to these
mm.
people. So now what happens? And there's just so many different pieces of
It's so
it.
layered, though. I like
Yeah.
that. It's so layered, and you can take. And me reading the second time
Mhm.
really, made me really analyze a lot of the stuff that was happening and focus on the realism in it. And there was a lot of realism in the aspects of each character.
Yep.
So the concept of sharing a heart, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
with a demon is now that was layered. So beyond the fantasy element,
Mhm.
what things were you exploring about identity and control and fear, or just like an inner duality?
Yeah. With that, each demon, just like each person, they have different personalities. They have different ways that they go about things. They have different ways that they see the world. And really, you could say that is each person's, like, not saying they're like personality. I don't want people to think that that's what it is because it actually is like
Yeah,
the demons there, but it can be like, so Guile, like he has now Simon and Claudie, and they're
yeah,
two different people, like, and they're like
yeah,
this married couple who are just arguing, but like they have their
all
own
the
personality.
time.
And then you got Ira, who's just like a sweetheart, but then
Hmm.
she's a sweetheart for Electra, and she's just like, other people I don't really mess with you, but I love my my person. Then you got Nyx and Nexus who just can't get along, and it's like, how do these personalities work? Because you share a damn heart.
Mm,
Share that heart. It's like you gotta make it work, and if you don't, what's the guy was playing? He's like, what can happen? You can go frenzy, then you can go crazy, and then you lose control. But the
mm,
thing is, now you're gonna see the aspects of that growing because you're gonna see Nexus and Nyx's relationship. You're gonna see how their emotions if affect each other as the book goes on. You're gonna see how things happen when you go through a relationship, when you go through ups, when you go through downs, and those things now are gonna be put in the forefront. But they're gonna have to react to them, and they're gonna have to you know go through them because at the end
mm.
of the day, you share a heart. You're stuck there. You have to do this.
I meant to ask you, Voss.
Yeah. Oh, Voss, yeah.
Yeah. How much of that? Because I was curious. Because when I was reading, I was
Mhm.
thinking to myself, like, if you get a tingling in your spine that said a motherfucker is not for you, you should listen.
Yeah.
Not sit there and sit on it until all hell breaks loose. So how that making that character
Yeah.
um really realistic for what we do in society nowadays.
Yeah. And I love Voss because Voss is, so you have Guile who it comes across like, this cool side of the pillow, like this dope person, but at the same time you're like, I don't know who's this dude, why is he so nice? But then at the same time you're like, is he cool, like who is he? So
Mhm.
Guile comes around there, right? And then you're like, oh no, I like Guile, I love it. But then Voss is kind of like the antithesis to Guile. So like, just like Guile, Nexus has Nyx, and Guile and Nexus, each character brings a different aspect. So like Voss,
Mhm.
is he good, is he bad, who is he, like all these things. But then at the same time, this rich dude is having this stuff and he's like setting y'all up and he's got you, you're doing his things, and Guile at least vouches for him. So you're like, I don't know what's going on anyway, so I'm just gonna let it ride for now because at least it's giving
Yeah.
me some. And these are only people who have knowledge. So that's where it also
Mhm.
comes into, you got to realize like Nexus has no knowledge starting this. So
Yeah.
he is only as good as he can learn. So at the same time, he might take chances and do things that he normally wouldn't do because he's in a situation that he normally wouldn't be in, and
Mhm.
he has to now act differently than he normally would. You know?
It's a lesson in discernment. That's for damn sure. That.
Yep.
So you did a beautiful job making Nexus feel emotionally real instead of like a stereotype. How do you intentionally build emotional authenticity for black male characters in fantasy so they feel lived in rather than performative?
I stress about my characters. When I tell you, like, the characters, and I know it's cliche, but I really do believe my characters write these stories. So
Mhm.
I'm going to, write wherever I'm at, and then I got this stuff there, right? And whoever, so like Nexus in this, right? He's gonna tell me what he's gonna do because there's only a certain amount of things he's gonna do, right? So
Mhm.
I'm true to your character. I built your character, and if I can't write, then I'm not. I don't know enough about your character, and I need to learn more
Mhm.
because they're gonna tell me like Aleka, right? She's a clown. She likes to joke. She's a jokester, but at the same time, she got a lot of shit going on. So like, but she's the productive one. She's like that, right? So she's not going to all of a sudden just be like all gloom and doom. That's not Aleka. She's gonna be like, yo, buckle up, Buttergirl. Let's get this thing going. Let's figure it
Yeah.
out. Let's get it right. And then she's the good vibes because that's just who Aleka
Yeah.
is, right? Well, Nexus, where the book starts, he's kind of, the introvert, but at the same time, he's like a little bit down on himself and certain things. But that's
Yeah,
who
he
he is.
was.
That's who he is at the beginning. So it's like, I'm not gonna just, all of a sudden you're happy. No, you are going to go through the progression of real life, and you're gonna tell me how that goes. And if I'm writing and it doesn't feel real, I don't write it, and I take some time. I take a break. I go do something else. I'm like, talk to me, and then I come back and it's like, oh, okay, this is where you want to do. This is what you would want to say. This, it has to
Mhm.
feel real. It has to feel like, I mean, even his dialogue, like sometimes he uses slang, sometimes he doesn't. He's an English major. I mean, so
Mhm.
like he
Yeah.
thinks about, like, he cares about that a little bit more, so he does that. But then Guile doesn't care about it as much because Guile, he's the marketing base. He's like, yeah, I'm doing. So there's certain things that characters do because who you are and
Mhm.
as a person, and that's really where I think as writers we can succeed with our readers, is like create authentic characters, but you do it based off of what they want. Because I mean, these
Yeah.
characters are who they are, because like, they're not gonna diverge too far from where they are initially. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I just keep that, and then honestly, real emotion, real emotion. Like, don't hide anything. Just put it all out there exactly the way that I think that it would be. And for my character, I mean, there's a black cast. So I'm gonna write it the way I would write it, and I'm gonna write it the way I would think, and I'm gonna write it the way that my friends would think. I'm gonna write it the way that I see things in the world. Because to me, as a storyteller, I'm a people watcher. That's what I do. I watch people. I listen to
Mhm.
dialogue. I listen to these things. I stress about it because
Yeah.
that's how I write. I write by, the things I see is almost like a movie when I see stuff, and then I write it almost
Mm,
like it's like episodes in the book,
yeah,
and every episode's gonna have a beginning, middle, and end. And
yeah.
that's probably a long answer for that, but
No, I'm enjoying this because I
yeah.
am a fantasy reader. I'm a paranormal reader. I'm a
Oh,
sci-fi
nice.
reader. So I enjoy hearing the ins and outs of how you are making your stories and your characters.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, you emphasize on instinct
Hmm.
um, a lot and gut feelings throughout the book. Something many of us grew up hearing in Black households across the diaspora, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Why was it important to weave that ancestral wisdom into the narrative?
Um, because that's all Nexus has at the beginning,
Mm,
and no matter what he thinks, he all he has is the instincts that were built into him and that he was born with, and the things that he learned throughout. Because, like you said, it is so fantastical the
mm,
environment that he jumps into that it becomes such a difference from his norm, right? So like
mm,
when you have no map to guide you, the only thing you're
yeah.
going to go with is, your instincts. And that's probably a
But
little
he was
sense.
fighting it though.
He was fighting it because at the same time with the instincts, the normal world tells us a lot of times that our instincts are wrong and that we should go with, these technical ways and you should think about this. It's like, oh, what's logic? But
Yep.
then when you are in a fantastical world where logic doesn't apply anymore, now you got to think different. So now you got to go on your instincts, and that's why that one saying where Guile was saying the three things like that happens
Mhm,
with the people who can see the other one see those things. That's why that's so important because that last thing is like either you see it, and you avoid it, you act like it's not there, you do something
mhm,
about it, or you don't. And it's like if you want to be the person to do something about it, now you gotta really, you gotta pull your pants up and figure it out. You gotta be like, hey, I'm gonna do
right.
something about it. But that's gonna come with a lot of effing work. And that's gonna come with,
Yeah.
so that's a very difficult
But
thing. So even like for oh go ahead.
that was a good point where you say you gotta that's a lot of work. I think even in reality, people don't do their don't believe in their discernment or their instincts and their
Yeah.
gut feelings because they feel the work that is going to have to be put in to believe in it. You're
Yeah.
like, faith without works is dead type deal. So
Exactly.
yeah, I like that. I highlighted that so every time I was like, yep, yep.
No, for sure. Because it's such a moving thing. And when even like as an artist, you think about it, when every artist gets to that point, and I would say, and I know every artist has that point where you get there and you're like, to get to that next level, I know where it's at and I know how to get there, but
Hmm.
it's gonna take a lot of effing hours of
Yeah.
just work, 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 no and no, sight in mind, right? So when you think
Hmm.
about that and there's no end goal, how do you keep on working? And how do you really keep on grinding? And really at that point it's instinct. So now you read other books and you're like, okay, cool.
Mm.
I'm self-aware. I'm looking at the stuff. Oh, okay, my writing does match up. Okay.
Yeah.
And Nexus says, okay, I am getting a little strong. I am understanding what's going on now. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
then after that, you're like, okay, I've read this. Like, now do I got an idea? Oh, I do have an idea. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then Nexus is saying, now I got Nyx. I do have powers. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
then you start to really build upon those things and try to like sharpen your sword. And like at that point though, now it's hard effing work. So now Nexus is
Yeah.
going and training with Guile every day, and he's tired
Yeah.
as hell, and he's going to trying to work at the gym still to do his thing. Just like I'm sitting here trying to get my 9 to 5 going, and like there's so many things that you have to do just to get to that point, and a lot of times that journey doesn't. Nobody wants to not say nobody wants to take the journey, but a lot of times people don't want to take that journey because that's a
Yeah.
hard journey to do. So then eventually or something just gives and it just you just die out because you have to take care of other things. Like if Nexus really just had to take care of all like the getting his rent paid, getting all the stuff doing, but he wasn't forced to have to take care of the Knicks situation as well, he
Hmm.
probably wouldn't do it. But he has to do it because he's forced into it. So
Yeah.
in our sense, I'm not forced into the art, but like I'm basically forced into art because there's no way I'm gonna do anything other than it.
Yeah.
So
Oh. I love that. I love that.
Hey, I'm here for you. Hey.
You intentionally did not write Alika, um, or Tara. That's her name.
Yeah, Tar, Tar. Tara,
Tara,
Tar, yeah.
as a damsel in distress, which I fucking hate.
Oh,
Um, they had autonomy, intelligence, and agency.
yeah.
Why was that important to you, especially within a fantasy framework?
I think I mean it's important to me, period, just because I have women friends. Like
Hmm.
like if Natasha read my book and she was like, these characters don't feel real, she'd be like, Kadeem, what is this? Like why is this character like this? Why does it? And she'll tell me, and I'll be like, you know what? That makes sense. Or I ask people, I got like I'm like, hey, does this make sense to you? Does this sound like something that you would say or somebody that somebody would say? And
Hmm.
also in my mind, when I wrote these characters, I write characters to be badass. Like I don't ever write characters to be anything other than that. So like
Yeah,
when I wrote Aleka, Aleka is a clown. She's funny. She's cool. She's
yeah.
strong. Like
He
she's
had me cracking
everything.
up.
And yeah, Nexus is he looks up to Aleka. You feel me? Like
Yeah,
so when I write Tara, I'm like, okay, Aleka now needs someone. So now Aleka has someone she can also, but then Tara's also a hard ass, which also adds into the friction of Nexus. Now adds into the the weight of the submission, the weight of what's going on.
yeah, yeah.
And like, at this point, the damsel in distress is Nexus. If you want to be
I
honest.
swear to God,
If you want to be real honest, it's Nexus. Like he's over here like, man, what is going on?
I didn't want to say it, but yes, yes,
Yeah, facts.
definitely. I was like, boy, stand up,
But
damn.
but like honestly, if you got thrown into a situation where you had no clue, you had nothing, like that's probably gonna happen.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Nexus is the main character. He's gonna have his
mhm.
moment, just like Naruto had his moment. Give me some
Yeah.
time, and they yearn. So like, hey, book 6, 7, hey, I'm telling
I
you.
think he's starting to become a badass.
Oh no, he like it's a
He,
slow one, but he gets there. So book
yes,
two, oh no, book two is a lot. Like he you don't like that. Book two, he makes a big strides, but those are the people that he looks up to. And at the same time, let's be real. If someone was super, super talented and they started playing, like golf tomorrow, they might be
hmm,
really talented, showing talent. But the people who've been playing golf for, 5, 6 years or whatever, they're still going to be better for a while because they have that experience and he doesn't. But
hmm,
might be talented, it's still going to take him time to get there. And the sense of
yeah,
disbelief, we got to make sure that we're there for the reader, because y'all want to believe if he just automatically was there, you wouldn't
yeah,
believe that wouldn't make
yeah.
sense. But this, for readers, I feel like makes sense because as I'm writing it, he's telling me what he would do. I'm like, oh, this is what he would do. He'd be scared as
Yeah,
a mother effer, like, because he hasn't seen
yeah.
any of this before. This is the first time. So like, the only thing you can do when you have no training or something is probably freeze.
Or
So
jump
like,
into the river and can't swim.
or jump into the river when you can't swim. But guess what? You're gonna jump in the river because you're trying to get away from danger, and you're not
Hmm.
worried about the fact that you can't swim now. You're
Hmm.
trying to
Yeah.
survive. You feel me? So yeah, no,
So,
it's
so without spoiling too much,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
we've been talking, and people can be like, "Is this what the book?" No,
No,
without spoiling too much. What do you hope readers walk away feeling after they finish the book?
if I did it right, I want people to be like, there's a good beginning, middle, and end. Of course, got everything with me is like I hate the new world where nothing ends because everybody just wants to make money off of stuff. Anyways, so I want there to be that
Yeah.
layer, but I want it to be such a good building block that the reader says, "Oh, I need a book 2, and I
Mm-hmm.
need to see what Kadeem Locke has because he really has something and he's really a dope writer. So I just want to hear
Yeah.
more from him because my thing is I'm always going to be a writer and I'm always going to get these things out and you guys are going to hear from me because I'm going to keep on writing. And my thing
Mm-hmm.
is just growing this community, getting more people to be like, okay, cool, let me see what you got just to give me a chance because if people give me a chance, then I feel like I want to really prove myself to the world and prove myself like I got this and I got this original work, original content I want to keep on creating for people. So I really want them to be excited for book 2, to understand like, damn, there's these characters that, you know, they're glad that they represent them. And also I want people to have characters that are their favorite. Like I want that feeling, like the same feeling I had with like anime where I was like, I love this character. Like I get goosebumps every time I think about Naruto and I think about the Zabuza
Mm.
arc. I get goosebumps because it's so amazing. And I want
Mm.
other people to read like Demonology and be like, oh, have your arguments about this. Be like, yo, no, this character's better. This like, yes, like I
Yeah.
want something like when I and this may be too far in the future, but like I want one day to go like a Comic Con and see black people in cosplay of my characters because like
Yeah.
look, we got representation and I want to see everybody like we got plushies of Era and stuff. It's like yo, Kadeem Locke's here to stay, guys. I'm
Yeah.
here for it, you know?
I like that.
Yeah.
So, talk about this detective serious identity you have. You
Check
refer
it.
to
Oh,
yourself, huh?
oh no! I'm saying, look, y'all know you read. Hey, you the detective serious?
You refer to yourself as Detective Serious. Can you explain the name and identity to everyone, and what does it represent about how you see yourself as a storyteller?
So check this out. All right. So Detective Series. So it's not actually me, right? So it's actually so in the book you see like he watches Detective Series, the show, right? So it's a well, I guess Easter egg for anybody who's there here. So one of my favorite animes is Detective Conan. Like I've been like I'm on episode 1,000 or something. It's like a mystery detective show. You know, it's like
Mm,
Conan Edogawa, so it's made after geez, I can't even think about the person right now. Oh, Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes. So it's like a
yeah.
anime version of Sherlock Holmes, right? And his Detective Conan, right? And I changed it to Detective Serious because it's a cat in the book now. So like the TV show is about a cat detective, but that's because I have a cat named Cloud. So
Yeah.
Detective Serious and Cloud is Serious, and so like it's Detective Cloud really. So it's really my cat. And it's his like it's his form in the book. So now he has his own little short
Mm,
in the book. He's like a character. But to me, when you watch like anime before, they used to have like the side stuff and the little things. It's like a little Easter egg to my people, like to the people who understand
mm,
me and know me. It's like, hey, if you really pay attention, you'll be like, oh wait, that's because the Detective Conan is like, yeah, but Detective Series like, oh wait, that's because Kadeem, he has the cat and everything. And I do that for like you guys for the real readers and the real
mm,
like the ones who like used to read everything in mangas, every anime episode, all the fillers because they love Easter eggs. They love to
mm, mm.
hear like to have all those things. They love to be able to know the lore of everything. So even
Yeah.
like when I signed your book, like KL Square, like those things are little tall dark official, like they're all pieces of that lore and that Easter eggs that I want to give to the fans and the supporters and the people who read because you guys deserve it. The same way that like so I put a lot of effort into every piece of the writing. So even
Mm,
this, like even the TV show that he's watching in the
yeah.
book is related to something of something because I want you guys to understand that these characters matter.
Hmm. So you said it's going to be a 10-part series.
Yes.
So is there going to be spin-offs of the other world realm? And is this the beginning of a way larger universe?
So Kadeem Locke, myself, yes. This one's gonna be 10-part series, right? And I do have a prequel already written because I wrote the prequel first, actually, which
Is
is
it about his father?
yeah, the prequel's about his father and like the whole origin. I'm gonna release that one before book 5 because I
Okay.
can't use it because it'll give away too much. Um, but this one is supposed to be a 10-part series, and like me, become such a creator and a person of originality, I believe that what makes a good story is also an ending. And
Mm,
I believe when this 10-part series goes and we do the thing, I might have one like epilogue, but that's it. It's done.
mm,
Because when it's done, it's done. But the cool thing about that is I also believe that as writers, our job is to not milk it for money. Our job is to create more. So, like I said, like I got the high fantasy coming, then I got another series, and then I got another series. I ain't gonna say them here because fly, but then I got another series, and then I got like some rom coms. Like, so I got enough stuff to write until I die, to be honest. And now that I'm in the door, it's we here. So
okay.
but everything I do, I feel like not. I feel like everything I do is standalone though, because I want to create original things for people. So everything's standalone. So these books are books. I don't want to make no TV shows off of them. I don't want. It's like if you want a TV show, I can make a TV show. If you want a movie, I can make a movie. Granted, there might be some exceptions, but for the most part, I can create more, and people respect the originality. I know we're in a world of repurpose, like they're
Mhm.
doing God of War live actions. Like we didn't need this, but and you skipped the original, you went straight to the Nordic. But here's the thing: we know this is going to happen because IPs are important and people aren't creating original as much.
Yeah.
But I'm going to create original because that's what I do, and I got enough ideas.
Mhm.
So let's keep on writing, let's keep on putting this out, and let's be the best we can be because I treat this like a sport
Yeah.
and I'm writing like I'm on the field like playing football or something. It's like, hey, let's be the best at this and let's keep on going because I want to be able to look at other people. I want to be able to like Kishimoto, Jim Butcher. I want to be like, yo, these are really my peers, and I want to be like,
Mhm.
yo, like I'm in these doors now, and I want to
Yeah.
have that respect and um that content for the fans and the people and the supporters because you guys are amazing. Because I mean, the amount that you guys read and you put into this stuff is like, man, like we are fueled off of that. Like that's what
Mhm.
fuels us is that people actually look at this stuff and go, crazy about saying, yo, this is amazing. Like I can't
Yeah.
express how much that is. Even being on live with you, when you read the book, you're like, I need to get this book. I was like, yo, this is so dope seeing this because it already did what it was supposed to do. It touched somebody and it
Yeah.
made somebody say, oh, there's representation. I need to get this. And then you read,
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, this is actually good.
It
Let
was
me go.
fucking. It was like Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
I was
Hey,
like, I was all in it. So let me, in your opinion,
yeah.
what should be the purpose of writing fantasy as a Black author in today's culture and political climate?
There's a ton to be said about what fantasy is doing in the political climate, and I love it. I think people are finally understanding, like, so like me, like I'm a super, like, I was raised on anime and,
Hmm.
reading and stuff like that, right? And there's certain ideologies, there's certain, like, things that come from anime, there's certain, like, character traits and things that come from these
Hmm.
places, and that molded me as a person, like who I am. And it's crazy now you're seeing like the people who are like watching One Piece for the first time and they're getting up there.
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, look at you guys. Like now you're seeing like the way that they talk, now that had the celestial dragons, everything, and then you see just, hey, no, let's live free. Let's be a certain and like people are fantasy always has this underlining tone of like be the best you can be a good natural person. And then I don't want to say good versus evil, but more so like, hey, how can we be the best and how can we better ourselves and how can we better society and for everybody around us? And fantasy has
Yeah.
always had this aspect. Granted, there's always something pushing against it, but that's the world.
Yeah.
But there's
And
always that
nobody's a
fight.
perfect person.
Exactly. And there's always
Yeah.
that fight against it, right? And the fight to find this middle ground for the world or find
Mm.
this area for you to grow within it and still fight the fight while living
Yeah.
with it, right? And I think the fact that people are finally understanding that fantasy has that and finally opening their mind to fantasy more so because before it's like fantasy, oh, boom, explosions, whatever, whatever, whatever. But people are actually now looking at what they're saying in fantasy, like, oh no,
Yeah.
this is more. They're actually giving us messages, like they're actually
Mhm.
talking to, and that part is where I feel like it's super, super dope and amazing. And even not, now people read the book, now people are understanding, like they see demonology and they're reading and they're like, even if they don't get it at first, even if it's not there, they're gonna feel something, they're gonna see something, they're gonna, as a black man, be able to show emotion, be able to know, like, you know what, you can have friends that show emotion. Like that's a real thing. You
Mhm.
can do these things. And then,
Yeah.
one day when, my high fantasy comes out, that's a whole nother underlying tone in that book. So you got so
Woo.
many pieces of it that we can share with the world and let the world digest without, and I want to say without being too, actually no, I'll say that without sometimes being too heavy. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you read, like you might read a book of poetry, you might read, a nonfiction. Sometimes it's so heavy that people, it takes you a little bit longer to get through it. And you see the things and it weighs, but at the same time, you need those things. But this is
Mm-hmm.
also a way to like experience it without it being so heavy, but also be able to almost analyze it in a different way. Because now that you don't feel that it's heavy, you're like, oh, I wonder why Nexus did this. Oh, I wonder why
Yeah.
Gal does it. You know what? I wonder why their relationship is like that, and you can kind of understand it from their perspective, and then eventually it'll get back to the fact of, oh, this is real world. Like this is how things happen. This
Mm-hmm.
is a way to like understand like the dynamics between people. There's a way to understand like how people have to work and how Aleka's working her ass off to do certain things. But look at that, she's a
Mm-hmm.
black woman in a corporate world, kicking, killing it. And she has an opportunity already, and she found a white woman who like gave like who sees talent in her and like puts that aside. But then again, you might have an operation where it's not like that, and you see it in a different way. So it's like I want to give you all these different sides and give you the truth, but I'm going to do it from my perspective and not my perspective, like the character's perspective, what they put out, and then they'll tell you. So like if it happens good, if it happens good, if it happens bad, it happens bad. But I want you to see the good, the bad, the ugly. But I just want to put it out there for the world to see because this is it. This is the world. This is what we have.
Yeah. So, what is your personal mission as an author? Like, what statement are you trying to leave behind with your work?
Storm, you asked the greatest questions. I'm telling you. Look. So when we go back to that one part where I'm like, it started small. At first, it started like
Mm,
books. Oh, I just want to get the books out. I want to do this. I want to do this. Like when I was younger, oh, I just want to be an author. I want to be an author. I want to do this. When I got to a certain point, and the older I got, the more I was like, Kadeem, if you're doing this,
mm,
that means that people are supporting you to do this. That means that if you get to the place you want to be as like one of the
mm,
greatest storytellers of the generation, that means that people made you that. Yes, you did the work
mm,
to put the books out there, but people bought them. People shared their stories. People told other people that, hey, you got to look out for this dude, which means that y'all put me at this place to be there, right? So to me, my job is to be the best person for y'all, right? So I want to, like even my Instagram,
mm,
anybody who needs help, anybody DM me, talk to me. Like
mm,
if you want to like suggestions about writing and stuff, people DM me all the time. I answer all my DMs because I want
mm,
to be that light. The same way if I was in person, like this is community. Y'all help me, I'm
mm,
helping you, right? So my job to me is do that for first when I get to that place I want to be, then share that knowledge, share that wealth with people. Like, be at speak as many places I can speak, talk to the youth as much as I can talk to. One day start scholarships for Black youth, start these
mm.
things. Get this, stuff going. I'm telling you, I want to be the Tyler Perry of this writing one day. Like I'm talking about like there, like,
What's
and I
the
know,
controversy? But I get what you're
yeah, yeah,
saying.
without the car, yeah, yeah. But you get what I'm saying. Like I can
Yeah,
do. I know I have the content to do it. I know I can build the team to do it. And once you build that team and you get there, now it's time to help the world and bring things together. But it's like you can't do it backwards with subs because you try to help while you go up, and it's like no, you
yeah,
can't. But so once you're there, then it's like okay, reverse it. I'm here. Y'all help me. Y'all help put me here. Now what can I do
yeah,
for y'all? And at the same time, when
mm,
I go up, I help people on the way, and I got like my people, and I'm like, hey, you're with me. Like let's go because you guys are working your ass off. But then when
mm-hmm,
I'm there, it's like, yeah, all right, how can I help? The first thing I'm doing, this Union
yeah,
City is Jacksonville. I'm going back to my city. I'm helping out Jacksonville as much as I can because I love that place. That place built,
mm,
raised me. As much as like sometimes I might say bad things about Jacksonville or whatever. No, I always love my city because that's my city. So
yeah,
like, go help these people here, help the youth here, talk to the youth in Jacksonville, like do certain things that benefit the world and the art community because at the end of the day, I'm nothing without y'all.
mm. So, what is one author in your genre,
Mhm.
living or dead, you would love to sit down with and brainstorm with, and why?
Jim Butcher, Jim Butcher, Jim Butcher. That man, he. So I basically write anime in novel form, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard thing to do because you have to translate basically the anime to novel. Because if you write it exactly like it is an anime, the sense of disbelief, the sense of disbelief goes out the window. Nobody's gonna
Mm-hmm.
believe it because in anime things are either too, like normally too out the way, too crazy. Like so, it wouldn't translate well to novel. So
Mhm.
what I have to do basically is like want to what think of what I want to write, put it here, but
Mhm.
then after I get it translated to the novel form, so that way it's digestible for someone reading it this way
Mhm.
versus like being like in a manga or something, right? That style was hard for me to come up with, and it's just like because like I know the way I like to write and the pacing.
Mhm.
I think it was maybe like 10 years. Oh dear God, like 10 years ago now. I'm showing my age. Um, that I found Jim Butcher probably actually probably like 8 years ago. I found Jim Butcher, like one of my coworkers, like, hey, you write like this guy. You should read him. I was like, all right, whatever. I back then I said I would never read more than a trilogy. I'm on like book 17 of the Dresden Files, and I read all his other series, and I'm caught up because this man, the way he writes, is so much like me, but like I like it's so just the pacing's perfect. Everything's just hitting. I'm like, man, he can't do
Mhm.
no wrong. And I'm reading this stuff. I'm like, this man's a genius. And then I'm reading his stuff, I'm writing my stuff, and I feel like he helped me without even realizing it, take like a master class on like writing in a sense. And then I
Mhm.
read Stephen King's book on writing, craft, and all that. And then it's like he helped me refine my craft and
Mhm.
then learn how to, for me, translate my anime to novel form because my craft, the way I wrote, you kind of have to write it like that. Because I don't know if you like when you read it, it reads like you're watching something.
It
Not as
does.
much as
It reads
yeah,
like a movie.
exactly. It reads like you're watching a movie or like to me like an anime episode. So every chapter is like an episode, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to get that done at first, and it takes a
Mhm.
while to refine that. But like, yeah, man, he oh my god, he without even knowing it, he's helped me so much just reading his novel. I'm actually reading his novel right now, like one of his battlegrounds. I'm trying to get through that. This is my New Year's thing. I was like, you know what, Kadeem, you got to start reading more because you write so much
Mhm.
that you don't read as much anymore. I'm like, you're reading. Like this
Yeah.
year, start every day, reading 30, 40 minutes right before bed, man.
So, what advice would you give aspiring fantasy authors, especially Black writers who feel like they don't fit into the genre's traditional expectations?
I mean, part of my words, fuck it, fuck the genres, all that shit. Like I hate it. I hate it all. Write what you write. But the one thing I'll tell people is though, remember the grind of the artist. Like it's going to be difficult, like
Mhm.
very difficult. So like you have to be ready. That's the one thing. You just have to be ready. So like when I got my book, like even the first part to get with the publisher, right? I already edited the first book like 8, 9 times by then time, and I had like two
Mhm.
beta readers and all those things. And then I get picked up by Muse Literary, and then me and my editor Audrey, love her to death, my editor now. Um, we edited twice more, right? So the
Mhm.
thing with it is, if I wasn't ready, nothing could happen, right? So the thing is, you have to
Mhm.
be ready. And for any BIPOC authors, we know sometimes, not sometimes, we know a lot of times you got to work twice as hard. So right, so if you got to work twice as hard, do that. But at the same time, be fucking ready because you never know when the opportunity is going to come, and it's not going to come often already for anybody. But then for
Mhm.
BIPOC authors, it's not going to come even more. So now you're
Mhm.
like, okay, how do I stay ready? And to me, it sucks. And for some reason, I love my artists. I love us. I love us. I love us. But we be thinking that we could just pick it up when we want to, and we'll be fine. That is not true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like basketball. Go out there. They shoot every day. Why aren't you riding every day? I know work happens. I know stuff happens. But if you really want to do this grind, you got to do it every day. So then do it. It's gonna be like a relationship. Some days you're gonna love it. Some days you're gonna hate it. Be like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. But the
Mhm.
next thing you'll come back and be like, you know what? I do love you. So keep on writing so that way you're ready when things pop off because you want to be able to go to a writing conference and somebody says, oh, what are you working on? You say, oh, I have a novel finished. It's sitting over here, blah, blah, blah. And who knows, that agent or publisher or something that they might be feeling nice. It's like, oh, I like your vibe. I like talking to you. Send it over. But guess what? If you didn't have it, now you can't send nothing over. Now you're like, oh, I'll send it when it's done. Guess what? You lost. You missed it already. It's already done.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
got to be ready. You got to be
So, where can readers purchase your book?
everywhere. So go Barnes and Noble, bookshop.org, Amazon if you want to, but I would say go to bookstop.org if you can. Your local bookstore, just go there and look up. Have them look up Kadeem Locke, Demonology the Bond. So anywhere you can order books, you can order my novel, and it will be there. And I will tell you guys, anybody on here or anybody reading, do if you can do me a favor and review on Goodreads or Amazon because that helps me out a ton. And honestly, the reviews are going up and we are doing good, baby. So things are
So
going
where
really, really well.
so where can we follow you on social media?
Right here, Author Lock. So this is my only social media right now. I have a Blue Sky, but I'm not using it much. Just because I'm not really big on social media, period. But I figured, hey, you're gonna support, you're gonna be with the fans, you're gonna be the community as much as you can. I'm gonna pick one, and I picked Instagram. I'm like, this is the one. So like, if you guys
Yeah.
want to, ever DM me, if you need any questions, if you want to know anything, if you just, feeling like, hey, as a writer, you have some writing questions or whatever, here's where you find me. Author Lock on Instagram. And if you want my website, but don't buy. Oh, never mind. My website is authorkadeemlocke.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
So will you be attending any book signings, festivals, events
Yes.
that we need to know about?
Yeah, so I have an event this next week, the 31st, Saturday in Tampa. It's gonna be a
Mhm.
pop-up Bookends Ebor. I'm gonna be there. It's from the event's from 2 to 9, but I'm gonna be there probably, within that time frame doing book signings and things like that. I'm also going to be at AWP in Baltimore
Mhm.
this upcoming March, I think it's like 4th through 8th. I'm gonna be there signing books, doing book signs and everything like that. And then after that, I think I'm doing one. Oh, I have a lit chat. It's this live studio audience event in
Mhm.
Jacksonville, Florida. I'm gonna be doing that. Um, where they give you 30 minutes, you talk about, what you do, your writing style, everything like that, and then we'll be doing
Mhm.
book signing after that. So I have a couple events coming up. If you check my Instagram page, we will have those pieces there. And then also next month we're going to be doing a raffle. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be yet, but we'll be doing a giveaway raffle for some free books for
Mhm.
supporters because I just want the supporters to get uh, I love getting out goodies and stuff, and plus the supporters get something, and then we'll also keep on growing the community. Helps with marketing, helps with putting the book out there, and honestly, the more people that read, the better because
Yeah.
I really believe in my work to the point I'm like, if I can just get you to open this book and read a little bit, finish it, then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, it's just like me. I always try something once, a food. If I didn't
Yeah.
like it, it might just not be for me. But I want at least people to at least be able to try so they can see. Because if they really do, then it's like, okay, cool. Let's get this
Yeah.
word out. Let's keep on going because the more that y'all support, the more that I can write, and then the better it is. And then next thing you know, all those ideas I told you about, we're here. It's coming out, coming out, coming out. That you guys got content and original content,
Yeah.
a lot of it.
So I'm gonna do your outro. I have four
What's up?
announcements, and then I'll let you go.
Hey,
All right.
whatever. Let's get it.
Kadeem, what I appreciate most about your work isn't just the demons, the tension, or the world building. It's the humanity you brought, emotional honesty to a black male protagonist in a genre that often refuses to center us with complexity. You gave us women with agency. You honor intuition. You didn't dilute culture, and you didn't apologize for your imagination. And that matters because fantasy is not escape for us. It's reclamation, it's liberation, it's permission to exist beyond survival. Thank you for trusting me with your debut to interview you, with your voice, with your vision. To anyone who's on here and those on YouTube who will see this later, listen and replay this episode. Support this brother's work. Buy the book, leave the review, say his name in rooms he hasn't entered yet.
Thank you.
This has been Black Girl Tired Book Talk podcast. I'm your host, Storm. As I always say, stay loved, stay loud, and stay black on motherfucking purpose.
Thank you, Storm, so much. And look, you part of the community. Everybody's part of the community. Look, if you ever need anything, if you ever just want to talk writing, look, just hit me up. I'm right here because you know me. Just DM me.
Yeah,
I
I
appreciate you so
appreciate
much.
that.
Thank you.
Hey, anytime, anytime, anytime. So announcement time. First announcement, Booty Book Tour. We have our event next month.